Hey y'all, what is good? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Morgan. This is Mo Life. We talk about life, love, health, relationships, all that good stuff. If you're returning, welcome back. This is going to be a short video, but I just wanted to speak on something that's been on my mind lately. And I guess I'm speaking not just to ladies, to anybody. It can apply to men and women. Come here, little girl. But I want to talk about this idea that we as human beings are in control of the situations and relationships that we stay in. For example, hi mommy. If you're in a relationship that you're constantly being cheated on, being disrespected, being called out your name, they're putting their hands on you, they're, causing all these problems, it's not a prison. You are choosing to stay in that relationship for whatever reason that you have going on. Maybe y'all have kids, maybe you're financially dependent on them, maybe you're afraid of being alone, maybe you're willing to tolerate that because there's some type of other benefit that you get from being with them. Whatever the case may be, I want you to understand that you are in control of your life. The choices that you make are your choices. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and making you do certain things. And so with this, I need you to understand, woman or man, that if you're in a relationship with somebody and it's not healthy, it's toxic, they're continually, being disrespectful and not treating you how you deserve to be treated, that in some capacity, you're allowing that to happen to yourself, and you have to take accountability for what your life and your relationships look like. If somebody has cheated on you and they keep cheating on you and you stay with them, you're allowing them to cheat on you. If somebody has put their hands on you and you stay with them, you're allowing them to keep doing that to you. If somebody is cussing at you, screaming at you, embarrassing you, and you stay with them, you're allowing that behavior to continue happening. And this is something that I had to realize because I was that person. I'm not sitting here judging anybody, because looking back at my previous relationships, I was allowing things that had no business being in a relationship. And so how can I get mad when you showed me your character but I chose to stay? That's on me now, because you showed me what I was working with and I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep working with it. And then when it resulted in something else, it was like, well, I should have seen that coming, right? For example, my ex, this happened multiple times. He would go out with his friends, I don't care, whatever, have a good night. He wouldn't call, he wouldn't text, he wouldn't come home. So I'd wake up in the morning like, where is this man at? And, the first time it happened, it was a conversation. But on my end, I didn't set any clear boundaries. Like, hey, if this happens again, I'm gone, right? And that never was a conversation. And so it happened again and again and again and again. And as me, I have to take accountability for that because I allowed it to happen and I chose to stay, even when that person continually disrespected me, didn't care about my feelings, wasn't concerned about, how that impacted our relationship. And so at the end of the day, I can be as mad as I want at him for choosing to do those things, but I also have to be mad at myself for allowing myself to be in a situation with somebody who kept doing those things to me. So the bottom line is this, is that there's always these conversations about boundaries, setting boundaries. And at the end of the day, it really has to come down to the fact that you as a person are not afraid to lose the relationship or lose the other person if and when they don't adhere to your standards and your boundaries. So for me personally, I didn't want to be alone. I was afraid of being alone. I'm gonna tell y'all this because I think somebody else might be I'm sure somebody else is experiencing the same thing that I was experiencing. So I want to let you know that it's a way out. You don't have to stay in this relationship. So here's my story, part of it. So I was afraid of being alone. I was young. I was 20. I was a little baby. Didn't really know better. I was very naive. I was financially dependent, so he paid rent. I was working with him, and so I was being disrespected in my relationship. But I felt like if I left, one, I loved him, and so I was willing to look past those things. Two, I was like, well, where would I live? I don't have my own place. I don't have a lot of my own money right now. 3, I'm working for him. So if I break up with him, there goes my income as well. And so there were all of these circumstances that were surrounding my choice to stay. But at the end of the day, when your boundary has been crossed and you've been disrespected to the point that, it's a non-negotiable for you has been happening, it's important to know that there's more to life than a romantic relationship, and there's more to life than just this one person, and that no matter what you've been through and no matter how you see yourself, you do deserve good things, you do deserve love, you do deserve respect, you do deserve a happy, healthy relationship. I'm saying all this to say this, is that as grown adults, we are responsible for the places and the people that we allow in our lives. And so in order to become free, in order to take that next step in our life, you have to have the self-awareness and the ability to look at yourself and be like, damn, I did allow that to happen to me. I did, stay in a situation that I shouldn't have been in. And I'm not saying this, to make yourself feel bad, because there are some situations where you can't get out. And there are some situations where it wasn't your fault, where, you're under the influence, you were in a vulnerable position. Sometimes there's different things in our brain going on. I'm not saying those things. I'm saying a situation where you look at yourself damn, I cannot be here anymore. I need to leave, but you continue to stay. That's what I'm talking about. That's when you have to look at yourself and be like, all right, I need to do what's best for me, no matter how hard it may be in the short term. Because when you're attached to somebody and when you're in a relationship with somebody, y'all are connected, especially if you guys have had sex. My soul tie video is on that. I'm actually going to make another soul tie video because I've learned more about it. But it's going to hurt when y'all separate. And so you have to be strong enough to understand that it's going to hurt in the beginning, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. And I also want to say this too, is that if you aren't strong enough to leave when you know you need to leave, ask for help. This is something that I wish I would have done, because I knew that I needed to leave, but I wasn't strong enough to do it. I can sit here and say that. And so it took me getting hurt more and more and more and more. In the beginning, the severity was okay, that's disrespectful, but it's not stabbing me in my chest. But then as I allowed behaviors to continue, the behaviors got worse and worse and more disrespectful, and ultimately on that side of the spectrum. And so if I had been strong enough to leave in the beginning and stand on business, I would have saved myself from years of pain and all the other stuff that happened. And so I'm saying this to say this again, that you are in charge of where you put yourself in your life. You are in charge of who you allow in your life. You are in charge of how they treat you. You need to train people how to be in your life. This is how you will talk to me, and this is how you will not talk to me. This is what I will tolerate, and this is what I will not tolerate. And if you cannot adhere to my standards, I'm leaving. And so if you're not at that point in your life where you can confidently say that, you need to work on your self-esteem, your self-worth, your relationship with God, your inner work, your shadow work, so you can get to a point where you're like, bro, I don't need a relationship to validate me. I don't need somebody else to be dependent on. I have my own money. I have my own plans. I'm doing my own thing. If somebody else comes into my life, they're adding value. They're actually adding something to my life instead of, causing stress and draining my energy and my resources. So that was kind of a lot. I just felt like I needed to speak on it because I've been thinking about it a lot. And that was a really, really, really big step in my own personal journey, was understanding that I allowed a lot of that stuff to happen. And I could take it on the chin, right? I could take my L and move forward. And now I'm going to act appropriately with the information and the knowledge that I have gained. I don't sit here and, judge myself and get mad at myself and hate myself for it, because I've learned a lot, and everything happens for a reason, and I'm going to take what happened to me, I'm going to process it, and become better on the other side. So that's how I see it. But that's what I wanted to say. I hope it resonates with somebody. You know, I hope that, you know, the self-awareness part, I wish that upon everybody. I wish self-awareness upon everybody, because it is the most freeing thing that I have ever experienced. Because once you understand yourself and you understand who you are, why you do what you do, you know yourself to a T, nothing anybody can say or do can affect you. Nothing anybody tells me I don't already know. So you lose power. You have nothing over me, because somebody could say, oh, Morgan, you do X, Y, and Z. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Oh, Morgan, you let X, Y, and Z happen, and this and this and this happen. Yeah, you're right, it did. And I allowed that to happen, but that will not happen again. You know what I'm saying? So once you accept what's happened in your life and you process it, you pray on it, you work through it, you understand why it had to happen for your ultimate, you know, growth and your ultimate goodness and on your journey in life. It's like, it's okay. Everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna get through it. Some days are gonna be harder than others, but at the end of the day, we gonna be good, and I'm gonna be elevated because of it. So that's all I'm gonna say for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But that is it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed Isha. Miss Ma'am made a little guest appearance today, but I'll catch y'all next time.